Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So, um, alhamdulillah, man, for, we did a little interview about mental health, right? Um, and, we had a professional on. So, I kind of want to discuss not necessarily mental health, but sometimes, so in the video, I made a statement saying that sometimes people cause their own trauma, okay? And the sister was saying how, she don't feel like people cause their own trauma. So I like to bring things to an Islamic perspective, right? So I want to show a couple of Quran ayats because I come from a statement from what Allah states in the Quran. Sometimes you get what your hands earn, okay? In this life and in the next life, okay? So look at that statement. Think about that statement right there. You get what your hands earn. Okay? Imagine actually earning the hellfire. What happens in the next life for you, for me, is going to be based off of what we do in this life. Okay? Allah Azza wa Jal informs us basically of different actions, different motions, different things that you do. Sometimes things can go on with the akal. So I'm gonna touch a couple of ayats, man. But it's some things that like with us and as Muslims, man, and one thing that not everybody, but sometimes people have an issue with being honest out loud. And sometimes we condition ourselves to lie to ourselves to the point that we believe our own lies. So in turn, we lie to the people. So follow me on this. Sometimes we develop a character. Some people refer to it as a mask. Sometimes we develop a character that we get stuck in, right? And it's detrimental to us, but we don't realize it. Okay? So with us, like with me, like how they feel like everybody in the world, not everybody in the world has issues. Everybody in the world is crazy, right? But when you understand Islam, I'm alhamdulillah, I'm able to view it to a standpoint. Allah Azza wa Jal in the Quran and Sunnah, I'm able to look at that and say, this is one of the signs of the hour. When the hour comes, by the time that the hour comes and when it gets near, what's one of the signs of the hour? That people are going to be out of their akal. It's going to be more ignorant people left than people with intelligence. You see what I'm saying? So these are things. This is Allah Azza wa Jal. You see what I'm saying? And like I say, like I have a saying, because I've been in these settings. You have mental institutions, right? The person who works in a mental institution, when they walk in that room, let's say it's 15 people in there with mental disabilities, Not a mental illness, but they have mental disabilities. We're going to word it that way. The person who worked there and go in that room, to those people, that person is the crazy person. Why is that person the crazy person? Because that person isn't like them. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes when and this is why people need to be careful of their circle. Because sometimes you have people who just trapped in a circle of life that really leads to just destitute. Problem upon problem upon problem upon problem. And this is their circle. Just like gang banging friends. You have friends, you get up, just like the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Let me get an Islamic point. He lived in a society, so this will make sense. Let's use the Deen first. He lived in a society where he was a truthful person. Everybody knew him for being truthful. Everybody knew him for being a good person. Everybody knew him for being an excellent businessman. To the point where Khadijah saw him out for marriage, a woman who was older than him. Right? But then once Islam came, but in this society, they had a custom of burying their daughters alive until they had a son first. Just for reasons so like their name won't be Abu Khadijah. Let me bury my daughter so I won't have a girl name. People won't be calling me Abu Khadijah. This is before Islam. Right? You had what was considered to be a nikah in these traditions was that one form of it was a woman will go into a home and have as many men who want to come have sex with her. 20 people, 30 people, 40 people, 10 people, 5 people, and they would come in that room and have sex with her. Right? And then once the baby is born, whichever one of them was the most noblest or had the most money, she put the child off on them and they accepted it. I'm mentioning that because this is crazy. This is Shaitan playing with their head. When the Rasul received prophethood and messengerhood, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, hey, we can't do this stuff no more. Guess what they said? He's a madman. He's crazy. Why do he want to give up these ways that we have? This is what our family, our people known for generations on generations. This is the ways of the old. This is the ways of our forefathers. This is how they believed. This is how they lived. This is how we supposed to be. They called him crazy. You see what I'm saying? He's a madman. Okay? So sometimes you're going to get mislabeled. And I'm saying this is for male, female, Muslim, non-Muslim. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people really do have some serious mental issues, but it'll manifest through their lifestyle. Are you who you really say you are when you close the door? Not minor exaggerations, not this, not that. It's going to manifest in your lifestyle. Just like I had to tell a particular brother where we was having a conversation that what's with Allah bears fruit. What with Shaitan doesn't. What's with Shaitan is going to keep you in delusion. Right? Now keep in mind, think about this. It's going to keep you in delusion. That's why I'm going to use a couple of these ayats. And sometimes the choices that we make, we choose our own trauma. So explaining that, like sometimes you just have a circle of people that keep you down. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, I could speak from experience. Like I came from the streets. You see what I'm saying? I came from the streets. And some people, you know what I'm saying? So like I would be around people and they would have ideas. So let's say for instance, you're around some people And they'd be like, okay, look, dude from the other side. Let's go kill this person. And then you go with them and then you kill that person. Right? You actually do they give you, here, you be the one to do it. And then you actually kill that person. Now you can't sleep. Now you haunted by that. Guess what you did? You created your own trauma. You made a horrible choice. Some of the things that I see, and that's some things from a male perspective, from our stuff. Sometimes we do things to create our own trauma. One thing I see from the female side, when I was growing up, I started to see a term that came around for women. You got to use what you got to get what you want. But in reality, a lot of the women who had that mentality, guess what really happened in reality? They really just got used up by men. Because think about it, if you're using what you got to get what you want, guess what? You're being used. But you're using yourself trying to use people. So they generally end up getting used up by men. And then occasionally they may latch on to someone who stays, who they don't feel like is worthy of their services. So they're not proud of themselves. So they have to take pride in, well, I got a necklace out of it. I got a pair of shoes out of it. A little girl mindset. I got some McDonald's. But mentally, spiritually, physically, they used up. Deep down inside, they not proud of themselves, man. But guess what happened? They created their own trauma, man. They created their own trauma, and sometimes they might not be able to let these things go. Now, we can dig deeper and say, well, maybe they had abandonment issues as a child, and this is why they doing it, but they seeking attachment. But when we have to get to the reality of it, no, they not seeking no attachment. They're trying to use what they got to get what they want. It don't have nothing to do with no attachment. And then, like, if they lose that situation, they not upset with losing the person. So it's not no trauma that I lost this person. They lost what they was getting out of it. So as they transition out, they trying to figure out a way to still hold on to what they can get. This stuff is trauma, man. I was listening to a girl in the lab yesterday, and she has, and it's the same one. I talked about her before. She had a guy who she feel like she's in love with. I can't say if she is. She says she's in love with him. Then she has another guy that she uses him. She wants to move in with him. Well, basically, she ended up trying to move in with him so that she have a place to stay and to use him. But now she's added a third guy, but she's just talking to him, weighing him out, trying to see what's going on and what's to him, trying to figure out how can she benefit off of him. But she's complaining about the guy that she's in love with. Why is their situation so difficult? She was like, why does love have to be this difficult? Like, why can't he do this? Why can't he do that? But the process of you moving in with another man so you can use him doesn't factor in her head that maybe that's why you and him have problems. Maybe because you got another person in the equation that you trying to fill out, but you claim you in love with him. Maybe that's why y'all situation is traumatic, because you carrying too much. You see what I'm saying? Because she can't turn him into what she feel like these other people are. This and then she's traumatized by it. She creating her own trauma. And this time it's a guy listening to her and it's a girl listening to her. The women, they egg it on. The guys like, what do you think? I mean, what are you expecting? This is why you have to be careful, man, of your circle, man. You have to be careful of your circle. And I'm going to give a couple of little Islamic points, man, because we really do a lot of harm from ourselves. So I gave an example of what, just from my lifestyle and things I see, how men do certain things to themselves and they end up traumatized by it. Sometimes people do create their own trauma. Islam teaches us that sometimes when you involve yourself with certain things in Islam and you start to become neglectful and this and that, Shaitan and them gonna be allowed to play with your mind, man. You see what I'm saying? This is a reality, man, and this is a world that we have to navigate. You know what I'm saying? Because it's nothing to play with. We get what our hands earn. And like sometimes, man, like you know, we just have, like me. So, you know, me and a little group, right? You know, because now there's something wrong with everybody. And everybody had to figure out what it is and all this other stuff, right? You know, but my pops had told me, you know, my pops was in that field. So my mom is a psychiatrist, right? She trained people and she worked with mental health people basically all her life. And you know, she got all these degrees and she actually ran a whole unit in a mental health hospital, right? And she trained people to counsel people with mental disabilities. We'll word it that way, right? And certain mental illnesses and mental breakdowns, right? So me growing up around this and in this environment and reading books and stuff that they had, my pops told me, this is what he told me, and I wish I could get up on a whiteboard. He said, take the word therapist. He was showing me about wordplay. Take the word therapist and put a line in the middle of it. And what you have, it says the rapist, right? And then he said, because he's in this field, it's a form of, it can become a form of people mentally raping you. Yes, sometimes people do need somebody to talk to. Yes, I'm not saying therapist is bad. I'm not saying that. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, you do have some that's gonna eat off of you and they're gonna push you pills. So that he told me it's gonna come a day where basically everybody is going, they're going to push something to where everybody is addicted to something. And the New World Order and the Nation of Islam used to talk about this. At a certain time, everybody is going to be, they want everybody, 90% of the people going to be addicted to something. Whether it's some pain pills, whether it's something that the doctor's giving you, some type of blood pressure medicine, instead of fixing you and helping you change your diet to cure the blood pressure, they're going to keep pushing you pills, whether it's some psychosis, something for depression, something for this. So they're going to start labeling all this stuff. So, you know, he told me this back in the 90s. And then me looking at an Islamic view, seeing it come into fruition. So what I'm saying is, with me, when we sitting in this group, the issue with me, like, I won't say I don't call it a trauma, because like I said, you look at some of the people who was the greats in sports. Some of them became a great because they got cut from the basketball team. So they became an overachiever. Would you call that a trauma? But you see what I'm saying? Some of them lost their first boxing match, or they really won and they got cheated. And they became great at it. Me, when I look at myself and analyze myself, which I always do self-reflection, even what people tell me, and it's based off of why they telling it to me. Because sometimes when people feel a certain way, they're going to say, and they may be hurting, they're going to speak to you from pain, not like genuinely trying to help you grow. You see? And some people who stuck in a world of delusion, they don't, truth hurts as opposed to bringing about growth. I was held back. You see what I'm saying? I was a person who was held back. There was a lot of things that I could do, but there was a person in my world who couldn't do anything. Okay? There was an individual that was in my world that couldn't do anything. Like sometimes we have parents that they just can't do anything. You know, sometimes your child can't even come to you and ask you stuff because you don't really know the answers. You don't really know what to do. And parents is superheroes. I'm not saying it was a parent. I'm just going to say it was somebody in my world that couldn't do anything. So everything I was doing, they came up with ways to stifle it. You see what I'm saying? Anything that I knew how to do, they came up with a way to put an end to it. So from that, I'm a person, I'm not going to let anybody stand in my way. And I'm not going to sit up and make a game plan for my life where somebody else work and mine has to bring it to fruition. So that's why when I see something and people be complaining, my thing is, boom, this is how you move forward. But like I say, some Sikh people don't want to be healed. And that makes something wrong with me. Because when you in a world of people who in situations that they created and they unhappy and they know that the crying, male and female, the woe is me, oh the masjid this, oh the masjid that, and then they'll talk it down and they want to look like, they want to make the masjid a boogie monster so they could look like the superhero. But my mindset is, I'm going to just do something. But some people love to have the conversations. You know, it'll be people who just want to meet with me time after time. Let me get with you, man, let's get together. Let's go out to eat. Let's go to Denny's. Let's go to places I don't even eat. So that they can sit around and soak. Oh man, if we could do this, if we could do that. But they really not going to do nothing, man. It's just talking. And it's stuff that it's problems that I fixed 15 years ago. And it's stuff that I listened to them complain about for 15 years. So that's what my issue is. So you know, some people, man, they be in situations that they are in, but this situation is bad, but I feel like I benefited out of it. Just like and I'm finna get to the Deen aspect. Like some brothers, when people have been conditioned to misidentify love, if mistreatment is the reaction that they looking for so that they can call it love, it bring a smile to their face. You see what I'm saying? But then when real love shows up, it's recognized it's a threat. It's scary. For men and women. What are you after? What are you trying to do? What are you up to? You supposed to be toxic. You supposed to be reacted. You supposed to be somewhere. Just like every woman who bust a dude headlights, right? Or bust the car windows out. That don't mean she was in love with the person that she did it to. That don't mean that she was crazy head over heels for them. Every dude who has beat up a woman, it don't mean that he was in love with her. It don't mean that he was crazy about her. Every woman who got mad at a guy and just like I tell an incident where a female tried to put me out, but I'm trying to take my stuff and they called the police. That don't mean that they was crazy head over heels for me. That don't mean they was stuck on stupid for me. Some people just have mental issues. And then you have people who think that's tough is cute. That's the reaction because that's how that's a validation that a person loves them. But that's not always the case. That's sometimes people just be crazy, man. Because a lot of people do stuff, man, but it be because of what they have going on. And people create these worlds for themselves, and it becomes their nest, male and females, man. So, you know, I'm saying all that to say, man, like some of these brothers, man, it's just doing harm for themselves, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just need to pay attention to our circle, man. Because you have people around you trying to use your mind, trying to use you for what you already have so that they can get it. Or so that you could lose what you have. You know, and I'm finna get to the Quran ayahs to show this right here, right? And why we shouldn't do it and what we could fall into. Sometimes you can have a situation where let's say some women feel like men supposed to do every last thing for them, right? And this is what I'm after. If a man ain't doing every last thing for me, I'm not with him. But then they just, from man to man to man to man, they can't keep no relationship. And then if they see another woman with another man who's not doing everything for them but trying to move them, they'll try to convince that person that they stupid. See, at that point, that person is the crazy one. Why? Because they the same one surrounded by crazy people. You not out here doing what we doing, so you stupid. And then they will bombard them with negativity, ignoring tactics, you know, victim shaming. Oh, woe is me, until they get them out of position, or until they make them second guess their own decisions. Because at the end of the tunnel, these is people going to be in a better situation than them. But if a man got to do every last thing, are you stupid? But these is people who possibly trying to use what they got, and then they just end up being used up by people. Because you have to use yourself to use people. So like even with some of these brothers, man, you know, they have all these visions, but they trying to use other people to get it. Use your mind and do it yourself. And see, like I say, I know it's easy for me to say that because I was a person who had been held back. You see what I'm saying? I know my life would have been different had I not been surrounded by the people I was surrounded by. So sometimes I look at certain people and I see in them, your life would be different if you wasn't surrounded by the people you surrounded by. Because you done created an image to where you had to placate in them. Some of these brothers, man, you know, your life, man, you would be different, man, if it wasn't for the people you surrounded by. Because you still trying to cater to what you think they think of you. You know what I'm saying? So like with me, and like sometimes as Muslims, see, I'm the type of individual, I could sit in the house for a whole year, have absolutely no company, don't talk to nobody on the phone. You see what I'm saying? And I will be perfectly fine. Go to work every single day and not have one conversation with anybody. And I will be good. Some people can't do that. That's too peaceful. Some people so used to chaos, man, like their nervous system, quietness makes them scared and nervous. If they had to sit in a room by themselves, if they had to sit in a place by themselves, they'd probably start getting scared of life, man. Because it's not chaotic. It's not chaotic, man. And let me get to how things about this, man, with Islam, man, to where we create our own delusion sometimes. We create our own delusion. And trauma isn't always based off of what somebody did to somebody. It isn't. You know what I'm saying? Yes, people do have certain traumas and this and that, but when we allow our minds to become idle and Shaitan plays with it, when we continue to dwell, and then sometimes when people condition themselves to accept dire situations, when it comes to the negativity, they got to think of it as a positive. When it comes to a positive, they have to think of it as a negative. They have to be in control of the narrative. Because when it's a positive, see, one thing about positivity, the things that scare them about positivity is because they start to recognize all the negativity that's within them. But when they stuck up in the negativity, it's a flex for them because they feel like they're in control of it. But all of this is delusion. You see what I'm saying? And people end up creating their own trauma, man. They create their own difficulties that they don't know how to escape. All because they want to be in control of the narrative. I could walk around all day. I don't care if a person looking at my beard. Some people just be walking around like, man, they might be looking at my beard. Or what if they looking at my shoes? What if my pants wrinkled? Because they too fixated on needing other people's validation, man. And that's why I thank Allah Azza wa Jal, I don't have none of that. Because people get so stuck and fixated on performing for people that's trying to ruin them. That's trying to ruin them. Y'all have no idea how many times people reach out to me. Just like I spoke about a situation a couple of years ago when I started this channel a year ago. Some people come together with a plan that they could benefit off of, but now they think they got to talk me into a situation to make it work for them. You see what I'm saying? If you're not around, it's not going to work. Brother, I'm not going to let you use me. I'm not finna let y'all use me. There's no Islamic benefit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, I'm a soldier, I'm a this. We're going to do this, but then y'all don't even have the heart to do the right thing in front of some foreigners. I listen to some brothers say out of their mouth, I know Allah said this, I know the Prophet said this. Like it make them knowledgeable, right? They kicking some knowledge. I know Allah said this, I know that the Prophet said this, but I'm going to go against that anyway to make this right. Numerous brothers. What do you think you finna talk me? You think you finna talk me into joining that and being a part of that? It's never gonna happen, brother. It's never gonna happen. And no matter how many times you tell them, because sometimes we get stuck in this delusion and we stuck showing off. Let me get to the Quran ayat, man, because I done talked enough, man. But I just want people, man, be leery, man, and worry about your circle, man. Quit worrying about people validating you, man. You know what I'm saying? I say, not necessarily for some women, because some people, society has conditioned that women need these type of things to thrive. You know what I'm saying? Like they had to tell themselves certain things in order to sleep comfortably at night. So, that's one thing, man, some of y'all brothers, man, like in reality, not all of them, but some women have to manipulate themselves. They have to manipulate them own selves just to be okay with how they living. You see what I'm saying? So, but us brothers, nah, man. we not supposed to be like that, man. Quit. Let me just touch one Quran ayat, man, to kind of bring this to a minimum, right? Look at in Surah 57, ayat number 20. And this is going to bring it home, because a lot of people caught up in these situations, this is basically what they caught up in. And it's not going to lead to anything good. Watch these two ayats. No, this is Allah Azza wa Jal. Know that this worldly life is no more than a play, amusement, luxury, mutual boasting, and competition in wealth and children. People competing with each other. You got a new car? I gotta go get a new car. Your favorite color is red? Now I'm finna go get a red car. right? But behind closed doors, what are you doing to get these things? Brother, what are you doing to get these things? Sister, because you caught up in a world of competing for what? The purposes of showing off. I got me a house. Oh, somebody got you a house? Well, I'm going to get me a house. I'm going to get me a building. You got this, you got that. Oh, okay, you got this. This is what you got in your house. Okay, now I'm going to get more. Allah is telling us this is what it's about in the Quran. Some people don't know how to step foot out of that arena. I'm a person who know how to step foot out of the arena. But the problem is, what are you doing to get these things? Some brothers might even be robbing and killing, and then they can't even live with themselves. Some of them might be leeching off of a woman, and all this stuff is really this woman stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's difficult for them to deal with. How can I be the man of the house when I'm sitting up in here and all of this stuff is this woman's? They feel demasculated. So they get caught up in trying to masculate themselves. They got to make themselves somebody. And they get caught up in delusion. Some of these sisters, they might be laying up under the biggest creep on earth. And they heart, they mind, and they soul telling them that they not supposed to be there. But they feel like they the coldest piece of thing on earth because they done manipulated themselves into the world of a person that just ain't got it all. And now they dealing with all type of trauma because of it. You see what I'm saying? They dealing with all type of trauma because of it, but because they caught up in a competition with other people. And then none of it avails them. None of it is going to help them in Jannah. Same with the brother. None of it is going to help you in Jannah. None of it is really helping you in a worldly life other than that temporary of enjoyment of seeing somebody who hating on you. They can't smile because of what you have. Like, yeah, I'm winning because they jealous of me. Look what else it say though. But look at this. This is like rain that causes plants to grow. So the rain comes down and it's causing the plants to grow. So it looks like growth. Okay. It's like the rain that causes plants to grow. It looks like growth. It looks like, yeah, we getting it. Right? To the delight of the planter. So this is the manipulator. I'm prospering. I'm growing. I got it going on. Right? But look what it says. But later, the plants dry up and you see them wither, and then they are reduced to chaff. Right before their eyes, because of what it's built on, it turns into garbage. It turns into something completely worthless. To where it wasn't even worth it. You see what I'm saying? But because it felt like an achievement, they still clinging. They still clinging. Because it felt like an achievement. It felt like an accomplishment. Look what else it says, right? And in the hereafter, there will be either a severe punishment for them or forgiveness and pleasure from Allah. But this is for everybody. But look as it continues. Whereas the life of this world is no more than a delusion of enjoyment. It's a delusion of enjoyment. To the point where people can't even enjoy their real lives. Real enjoyment scares some sisters and some brothers, man. Because they too caught up in the delusion of enjoyment. I thought this stuff would make me happy. I done did all this stuff just to watch it wither and die. I nurtured the situation. I watered the plants. I watered this situation. I poured into it just to watch it wither and die. But why though? Because they got caught up in competing and showing off. They showing off. And then sometimes we lose aspects of our deen because we not trying to please Allah. We trying to please the onlookers. So that's why sometimes, like in situations like a principle from the deen, it teaches us to do what? You don't have to broadcast your good. Some people want people to be so proud of them and what they got going on. I got a girl. She do this for me. She's doing that. She's putting me in this position. Can't be quiet. And then when those same people, instead of happiness, they had to deal with the hatred from them people. And then they had to deal with the people trying to plant seeds of deception to make them jeopardize their own situation, man. But sometimes deep down inside, because the real enjoyment is on the other side, not a delusion, they have an extreme fear of failing. An extreme fear of failing. Just like with the brothers. Creating a masjid as easy as it is. As easy as it is. Instead of us just doing it for real, we keep self-sabotaging, but we can look like we really trying to get something together. We can run around and pretend and have that title. We organizing, we building, we shaping the community. But in reality, nothing is being done. Nothing is being done. Oh, I'm going to do all this stuff the wrong way because these people need me to talk to. I'm going to disobey Allah. I'm going to disobey His messenger because these people need me to talk to. That's a delusion of enjoyment. And then a simple thing is say, okay, let's say I come around. You want me to come around and talk to them? I can do everything the right way and still talk to them. Why do you have to do all the wrong stuff to talk to them? Just trying to mask the fact that they hard pump Kool-Aid, man. It's a delusion of enjoyment. You see what I'm saying? Like I done had, you know what I'm saying? It's just some people try to fix problems with problems, man. And it only leads to more problems. And then sometimes never-ending problems. Just imagine a person creating a problem in their own life and continuing to be a problem. It's problematic in their life, but they can't let this problem go because they might need a cheeseburger one day. These problems they just problems. But like I say, some people solve problems with problems, man. This stuff with the masjids, man. These masjids with these communities, not just here but worldwide, fixable. But some people stuck in competing. Hey man, you know, let's get a masjid. Oh, to get a masjid, it got to be extravagant. We got to have chandeliers. We got to have big diamonds from the ceiling. We got to have glitter on the walls. We need 10 TVs in every room. we're gonna have to have this and we're gonna have to do that. Just to praise Allah and learn. Just to praise Allah and learn. What the Rasul Masjid looked like when they was in it? A dirt floor, a bamboo leaf roof, or date palm leaf roof. And they was the greatest to ever do it. But now we got to have carpet that come up to our knees. We need 75 TVs. We need you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not trying to worship Allah. We're trying to compete with other masjids. And you could tell a person 1,000,000 times, I'm not finna play a part in that. But they can't process it because they stuck in delusion, man. We could have been had this cracking, man. All of us. But it's too much pouting. Who's going to look like the leader? Who's going to look like the man in front of everybody? And the thing that be upsetting people the most is the person that's not even trying to be the man. People just look at him as the man when he sits in the room. It ain't like he's grandizing. It's not like he promoting himself. It's not like he jumping up like, hey, if I'm not around, you ain't gonna know who to listen to. It don't be none of that. And that bothers them because they politicking to be what he really is. They politicking to be what he really is. And a lot of people do this in their life, man, on different type of ways. Quit showing up. Quit chasing validation. Quit solving problems with problems. And the Muslims will get a whole lot further, because trust and believe this stuff is going to create disappointment in people's own lives, right? Some people, just like with me, it's so disappointing to them when I tell them no. Like you know, you have people, man. I like it's almost like, how stupid do you think I am? Look, I'm finna get this. I'm gonna put it in your name. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. You're gonna do that, and then I can look like this. I could just do that on my own if it's all gonna be in my name. If everything gonna be up to me. So you keep on pretending, but the disappointment of me saying, nah, I ain't with it. Oh, but you the savior, you this, you did. You can't gas me. Nah. And now they done created some disappointment in their own heart, and then they're going to start to feel some type of way, and then the resentment is going to kick in. And then whenever I'm around, once that resentment kick in, oh, you think you this. You think you the only one who knows something. You think you the only one that could be right. No, you just resenting because I told you no. You speaking from resentment because I didn't allow you to have your way. But I'm not stopping you from having your way. I'm just not participating in it. Oh, but you had to participate in it because that's the only way my scheme is going to work. Well, you need to come up with a new scheme. And see, some people can't live in the so-called discomfort of people speaking to them from resentment. And see, sometimes people admire that about me. That be in my world, they don't say it, but it make them dislike me because they can't be the same way. They can't sit up and tell people, hey, get away from me with that, and really mean it. Man, you just hating, man. You just pouting. You know what I'm saying? My happiness brings you anger. You speaking from the wrong place. You're not genuine. You're not trying to help me. And some people can't take that. Oh, we ain't gonna talk to you. Anytime you're in a good situation, we not gonna talk to you. We not gonna hang with you. We not gonna come around. We gonna hate on you. We gonna say you just a dummy. And then some people fold under that pressure, male and female. Some people fold under that pressure, man. And then guess what happened? Just like the Quran say, man, some people not going to be pleased with you until they get you back to their way of doing things. Till they get you back on their creed of life, which is possibly a creed of life that you never should have been on. I done walked away from it all. I was an idiot for everything I walked away from. I'm in a household full of foolishness. I leave. I can go do better than this by myself. I'm in a household where I fix my room up and I'm doing different things where it look better than certain part of the house. But, oh man, that's a stupid idea. You don't know how to paint. You can't do nothing. Trying to hold me back because they can't do nothing. And then when my situation is looking a little different and it's more casual, and then they had to come in and they sitting in there and they just hating. But it made me realize I could do this outside of here. I'm up. Oh, you'll never make it. Oh, you think this, you think that girl this, you think this, and this. No, this is me. I know who I am. So you ain't gonna make me doubt who I am. I know who I am. And then I thrived. You know what? Just like during gangbanging, just like little stuff like this. And see, some people can't get past this. Man, I'm finna leave. I'm finna move to a whole nother city. Oh man, you chasing a girl. The girl got your nose open. You leaving a war. Why would you leave and go to another city and we sitting up here gang banging and fighting and killing and shooting the people we grew up with, the people we grew up playing in the sandbox. We fighting and killing each other, and you running from the war. What you mean running from the war? The people who you consider to be our ops, I go over there and play cards with them. I go over there and gamble with them. They trying to do something to you. And then they trust me enough to say, man, the brother be over here all the time with her. I'm around them more than I'm around y'all. And they still trust me enough. The thought of me going to tell y'all where they at never even crosses their mind. See, sometimes people don't understand the concept of you play your friends close, but you play your enemies even closer. Some people can't understand that concept. You see what I'm saying? They can't understand that concept. But they let that stuff try to break them. Oh, okay, you know what? Yeah, there's no sense of me moving to another city and bettering my life. I need to stand around here and gang bang and kill people that I grew up with y'all. And then once they ended up being shot, once they ended up in prison and everything going through to them, and I'm somewhere chilling, but I was the stupid one. I'm the stupid one because I know how to remove myself out of that arena. And then years later, when they finally start to develop a mindset of I need to grow up, unfortunately, sometimes they was in their 40s. Who blueprint did they follow? The blueprint I had as a kid, man. Some people create their own trauma, man. And then some people only able to trauma bond with other people. I'm not finna trauma bond with somebody. This stuff that you're going through is mental. Let's pull you up out of it. Let's put you on the free throw line and give you a basketball, and you sit there and practice making free throws until you make them. You know what their mindset is going to be? The first thing that's going to come to their mind, the first thing going to come out of their mouth is, but what if I can never make a free throw? Well, that's why you sit here by yourself and keep shooting free throws until you make one. Okay, I get it, but what if I never make one? You see what I'm saying? They legitimate fears. But see, like I say, sometimes people's mindset is like that because the people that they surround themselves with and the situation they put themselves in trying to be slick. Okay, it's not going to hurt you either way. If you miss one, so what? You try again. If you make it on the first one, what if you make it on the first shot? Oh, but I can't. You see, these is individuals who have been taught to not believe into themselves. These individuals sometimes they create a victim of themselves so that they can always be saved. You know what I'm saying? And they be afraid of burning bridges because they've mentally conditioned themselves to feel like I'm going to need to be saved one day. So they bond. They try to keep a bond with other people through trauma. They're a trauma bonder. And it's difficult for them to bond with healed people, male and female. I only know how to bond through trauma because it doesn't scare me. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't scare me. It doesn't shine a light on me, man. And, and then sometimes you dealing with these people, man, some of these brothers, and then they trying to manipulate you into being whoever you already are so your light will shine on them. But see, the problem is once that light shine on you, you're going to look bad, brother. I don't want nobody else light. I don't need nobody else light to shine on me. That's daylight. I got my own light. You know what I'm saying? You keep trying to stand up under somebody else's lamp and you're only burning yourself, man. Stuck showing off and competing, chasing people validation, man. You stuck in a delusion of enjoyment, man, and this harms a lot of us, especially as being Muslims, man. And that's all you got to do. Put them on the free throw line. Okay, brother, this what you want to do? You want to do this? This is your idea, and then it'll be, and then this is what's going to make me a butthole. I have no idea. I'm going to help you with everything that you come up with. This is all your thinking. I'm not going to argue against it. I'm not going to do nothing. So that way, if it failed, if it fall apart, it's on you. But then do bits and pieces to see how they absorb. You know, you might, this is something that I've already accomplished. You might want to do it this way. The resentment is going to come in once it fall apart. It didn't work. Okay, brother, here, let's put you on the free throw line. Shoot the free throw. You're not going to get me to move until you shoot the free throw. Instead of, you know what I'm saying? Because this ain't about peacocking. This ain't about walking around with the basketball like, hey, we going to be shooting free throws soon. Okay, get up there and shoot a free throw. You see what I'm saying? Us Muslims, man, like, we all need to look at ourselves, man. Ain't nobody perfect. Ain't none of us free from sins. All of us make mistakes. We gonna make mistakes. But doing the wrong thing on purpose isn't a mistake, brothers and sisters. And continuously, sometimes people need to look at themselves like how I did and say, you know what? I keep doing the wrong thing over and over, and I'm softening the blow so I don't feel stupid, and I'm calling it a mistake. No, I keep doing it over and over. Guess what that make me? Stupid. I'm stupid. I'm doing stupid stuff. Nah, it's the exact same thing over and over and over. Like I say, some people keep revolving. They keep going in the same circle. And then some people evolve. Some people evolve, man. And just looking at it, like I'm saying, man, from an Islamic standpoint, some people of us is caught up in a delusion of enjoyment. And look, I went and pulled up just to Google. Because like I say, I like to show people where they can Google stuff where it can help. I wouldn't rely 100% on Google because sometimes it don't be right. Sometimes it just pull up the most popular thing that's said. Like sometimes if you put in Google and ask a question and then keep entering it, like boom, it pull up a source. Then keep the question in there and hit enter again. It might pull you up 10 different sources with 10 different things. Sometimes the first thing you see, you might see things that debated, but it might be the most popular thing looked at. And that's why AI will generate what's getting the most clicks, not what's actually the actual truth or what's concrete. So what I did, I went in and looked up delusion of enjoyment, where you can even look at tafsirs. You know, I look at the tafsirs, I look at the hadiths that go with this, directly from the words of the people who was there. But look what it's saying, it's pretty fair. So, delusion of enjoyment, often translated from the Quranic Arabic, refers to the deceptive, temporary, and fleeting nature of worldly pleasures and material pursuit. Material pursuit, right? So-called worldly pleasures. Now, we got to separate that from desires or what's considered to be with your spouse and family. Because this is in our fitr. This is what Allah Azza wa Jal, like he said, I made your mate a covering for you, for y'all to enjoy each other. Okay? So these are your natural enjoyments. It just wants you corrupt them. It just wants you corrupt them. When you corrupt your filter and you turn yourself, some people turn themselves into sexual deviances. One, because they done got to the point they don't get nothing for real out of it anyway. So they're going to use it as a means to get material pleasures. It's a part of their pursuit material. And some of these worldly pleasures pass on the back validation. Male and female. They're using themselves up in an attempt to use people. And then in the very end, once it starts to collapse, they'd be the one who hurt the most from it. And then they got to live with the fact, I let this person use me up. And then I taught myself how to like it. Male and female, man. Like I said, man, I know some brothers, man, who everything in their whole world, man, if you take their woman away, they gonna be on their butt somewhere. You take their woman away and they not even gonna know what to do. The furniture hers, the house hers, the cars hers, the money is hers. They got some money themselves. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a knock to them. I'm not knocking them, but that's just like anybody, man. If somebody else is the ultimate goal of your hustle, you're gonna have to kiss butt. You're gonna have to bow down. And in that point, especially if it's showing our purposes, you bow down to everything other than Allah. You don't fear giving up Allah, but you fear giving up this sister, man. You fear giving up this brother. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, man. And like I say, Allah Azza wa Jal is letting us know, man, what this is going to lead to. Look, let me finish this ayat out and give y'all another one. This got too long, so I apologize. Look, so compete with one another for forgiveness from your Lord and a paradise as vast as the heavens and the earth, prepared for those who believe in Allah and His messenger. This is a favor from Allah. He grants it to whoever He wills, and Allah is the Lord of infinite bounty. This is nothing but riyah. And that's why I shirk. You'll be better off chasing Allah and His Deen, man. You'll be better off listening to the Rasul Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because that's what's going to lead to the ultimate success. You out here getting what your hands earned. You out here getting what your hands have earned. And like I say, none of us is perfect. Some of us are going to fall into things. We're going to have some sins. Some of the intention may be good. But when you turn it into a lifestyle, what's your excuse going to be? Some of us fall into turning it into a lifestyle. And you know, just like the sister said in that video, I've seen people lose their mind and they never got it back. I've seen people lose their deen and they never got it back. Although they kept calling themselves Muslim. They still kept calling themselves Muslim, but they got caught up in a rapture. They still trying to show off and please other people, man. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what make them feel whole. They want validation from people that don't like them, man. Too busy trying to be liked. I don't need validation. I don't need approval from Allah. So then they'll just go start telling themselves, well, I'm good with Allah. I took my shahada. I'm Muslim. I'm doing my best. I love Allah. Okay, yeah. Not saying that you don't. But that don't mean it's never gonna be rump time. Daki. Alright, let me go ahead and close it out on this last little ayat, man. Because I done took up too much time. Which one I want? Hold on, Daki. Okay. So this is in surah number 4. Ayat, we're going to start with 37, but it's really about 38. So it says, those who are stingy, and they promote stinginess amongst people, and withhold Allah's bounty, we have prepared for these disbelievers a humiliating punishment. It doesn't necessarily say in the hellfire, but something that's going to be humiliating as a punishment. You know, a person may be walking around humiliating themselves, man, but like the emperor that wear no clothes. And then people can walk up to him and say, hey man, dude playing with your head, man. Dude playing with your mind. You see what I'm saying? Dude playing with your mind. He done dangled a carrot up in front of you, and now you worshiping him. You would displease Allah because you have fear of displeasing this man. Because he done gave you a title that doesn't even exist. When all of us been around longer than you, all of us know him better than you. We don't want that. That's why we don't have it. This fake title, this fake position that you think you have, the only reason why you got it because we don't want it. Not because you're a shining star. He's playing with your head, man. But some people, they can't accept the reality, man. Why? Because they stuck fooling themselves time after time after time after time after time after time again. But it looks like growth, but it really isn't. It's just something that's going to wither up and die right in front of them, and it ain't going to make no sense to them. It's built and based off of a foundation of foolishness, man. And that's why, like, some of these relationships, man, they based off a foundation of foolishness, man. Where sometimes, man, like I see some of the people who reach out to me, man, they be in a relationship, they looking for, where's the foundation of foolishness? I need the foolishness. I need the foolishness. I'm scared when there's no foolishness. Where's the destructive patterns? Where's the kissing my butt and going crazy over me? Where's all these actions? I can't keep you, you know what I'm saying, brother? If I don't have this sister out here busting windows and acting a fool, because the crazy part is this. If I have a woman outside busting windows and acting a fool and all this and that, one, it don't mean she love me. And two, it don't mean that I love her. But if I can create that reaction, it can validate me. And I could tell myself, man, that person loves me. That person crazy over me. I tell you, I sit in rooms with brothers all the time. With sisters, man, brother, you just a survival tactic, man. But I don't tell them that. I let them have it. Oh, man, that person in love with me, man. That person, man, them people, they just crazy about me, man. Dude, they was around you for 2 weeks. They was around you for 2 weeks, brother. They was around you for 2 weeks with literally maybe 2 days of happiness. And those was the 2 days that they was around you long enough to whip out their usual maneuvers. There wasn't enough time for conversation. There wasn't enough time to see through the cracks. It was enough time for maneuvers. 2 days of maneuvering and then another 12 days of turmoil. Everywhere they foot touched, it was turmoil. At work, at home, they go over a cousin house, turmoil. Go over a friend house, turmoil. Come over your house, turmoil. Go to see their dad, turmoil. Go to see their brother, turmoil. But to you, that means they in love with you and crazy about you. That's the delusion of enjoyment, brother. Everywhere where they step foot at is turmoil. Everywhere. Because they thrive on chaos. As long as I keep chaos going on, I'm the superstar in the middle and I'm the smart one. I'm smarter than all of y'all because y'all so stupid, y'all keep falling into it. But I'm the dummy. I'm the dummy, but I'm making y'all act stupid. And I'm messing up everything that y'all got going on, but I so managed to not never mess up what I got going on, which is really nothing. But you have people around that feed into the manipulation, man. People love me, this and that. Just because that same person can come over there and act a fool and be dramatic, take all your stuff, do this and that with it, and that don't mean that person is crazy about you. That don't mean that's somebody you always want to count on. What that means is that's going to always be a problem that you attaching yourself because you looking at it as a solution. Oh man, never know when I might have a lonely night. I might have a lonely night. Brother, you can go do that with somebody that's beneficial. But see, I'm scared of a beneficial person. We causing our own problems, man. Satan playing with people. And I'm telling you, I sit up and look at these people with pride because their ego has been validated. That's the reaction I'm looking for. Might even ponder in their mind and get with another female or get with another person and be like, dang, why you don't act a fool over me? Act a fool over you for what? Well, that's what people do. Okay, let's take a look at people. Is this a long line of busters, or is this a long line of women? This women do this everywhere they go. You're not special, brother. Some of these women, man, they could meet somebody in a gas station right now and do the exact same thing that they did with you and only known them for 2 minutes. Do that mean that they love them? Some of these brothers, man, got a long list of abusing and beating up women and shaking up women and doing a bunch of stupid stuff, and now it's just your turn. Brother Ben crazy. Ben ain't had his noodle. But no, that's this good I put on the manipulation. No, he was like that when you met him. Delusion of enjoyment. And some people hold on to problems, man, because they think it's the solution, man. This is Islam. This is basic Islam. And that's all the point that I'm trying to get across, man. Choose Islam, man. Allah is the problem solver. What's with Allah bears fruit. What's not with Allah doesn't. Period. He ain't bear no real fruit. You see what I'm saying? Ain't even bear no real fruit. And like I say, man, I listen to that girl, man, and you know, she feel like the person that she in love with is just a bunch of trauma. Because she can't fathom in my head why me and him can't get along. Possibly because you live with another man. And possibly because you talking to another person. You can't even focus on him. And then you expect him to just be like, oh, peaches and cream. Yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? But she can't fathom it is because of what she think of herself. You self-sabotaging your own situation. The thought in her mind, oh, well, I'm just using him for heat. I'm just using him for electricity. So I don't have to pay no electric bill at my house. Okay, so what am I supposed to mean to you? She can't fathom that. Another dude had to say it to her. Maybe that's the problem. Oh, it's okay, got it. I'm so confused. I can't get my mind wrapped around certain thoughts. Maybe that's why. And then you got some girls sitting around being hyenas, championing you on and then laughing at you while you're not around. Those things never cross her mind. Why? Because that don't make her stupid. That make her one of the coldest females to walk this planet. This is delusion, man. In Islam, man. No matter who of us fall into it. And that's why I do a lot of deep self-reflection, man. And I remove myself out of the arena of delusion. And I've been doing it my whole life. Like I say, I started off with 100 friends. Once I stepped out the delusion of being a gang member, I lost 50 of them. Then once I stepped out of the delusion of being a weed head, I lost 25 of the 50 that I had. These ain't my friends. These just smoking buddies. And then once I stopped drinking, I boiled down and had only a couple of friends. You see what I'm saying? And then once I got serious about Islam and started to take my Deen serious, now you see it's me. Now you see it's me. And then very few people be able to enter my world. I don't care if you call me funny acting. I don't care what they say. You not finna reduce me to what you need me to be so that you could benefit off of me. This is just manipulative tactics. What I'm finna sit around a whole bunch of people who trying to manipulate me so that they can eat off of me. I don't need them, they need me. I'm fine. So it is what it is. I'm not finna sit around a bunch of toxic behavior that isn't bearing any fruit. I know what Islam says, man. I know what Islam says. And every once in a while, I try to pull people up out of what they in. And then they go into a mindset of, don't be trying to fix me. I don't want to be fixed. I'm not trying to fix you. I'm just pulling you up out of the situation so that now you can take a look around and be like, man, the contrast is crazy. But let me finish that key so I can finish this ayat. So just to wrap it up and finish off that ayat, number 38. Likewise, for those who spend their wealth to show off, okay? And we're not saying they're not Muslim, because we know that riyah is a form of shirk. They spend their wealth to show off, and they don't truly believe the right way in Allah in the last day, because they don't believe that this affects the rank and the position that they have with Allah. But the sad part is, deep down inside in their heart, they know it does. But instead of fixing it, they make excuses because it's easier. And then they fall back into that world of delusion and tell themselves that they're going to be fine. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, this is this and this, you know. This belt on me, this belt is on me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the person who comes to take the belt off of them is the person that's putting the belt on them. The reason why the belt is there because of you. No, this belt was on you already. I'm getting the belt off of you. It's just, but look what else it say. Look how Allah ends it. And those who take shaitan as an associate. What an evil associate that they have. So you look at that, people competing and doing all type of stuff, getting caught up and buying a whole bunch of unnecessary stuff, man. They falling into riba. They falling into using what they got just to show off, just to take that money and to take these riba cards and all this other stuff that they falling into just to show off for some people that ain't gonna like it. They don't even have a circle of people that they could talk to that's encouraging. They have to tell every inkling of what they feel like makes them happy to people, man. Brothers and sisters. And that's why in the Deen we encourage to not do that, man, because of the evil eye. It's in the Quran. Hey, you know, don't say nothing, this and that. You know what's gonna start this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Leave people name out of this and that, but they can't help themselves, brother. Some people need a hug and they need people to be proud of them. Hug yourself, man, and be proud of yourself. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? Because what they think of me isn't gonna make me or break me. What some people want people to think of them, man, it makes them and break them. You see what I'm saying? They become people pleasers, the people that's never going to be pleased with them. The only time people are going to be pleased with them is when they in turmoil. You know what I'm saying? Like they say, some people only check up on you because they're looking for bad news. You call them, oh man, well, you know, I done fell off, I'm doing this and that. You know what I'm saying? People be in a situation that people sit around and talk about how they stupid and all this and that. But then, on the flip side, if they trying to come up out of that situation, they try to convince them to go back in it. Turn you right back into a laughing stock, man, which is a humiliating punishment. Even, like I'm saying, for anybody, even for me. I done walked through it. But see, sometimes, man, what separate me from from my peers or other certain things, I know how to turn the Toba, man. Some of us Muslims really don't know how. No, and then when you try to tell them that, you know, it's just something in them that's going to reject it. Somehow you attacking them. Somehow you trying to belittle them. You know what I'm saying? Because they done condition themselves with the mindset of failing, man. Like I said, man, you could take a person to the free throw line and give them a basketball and say, here, shoot the free throw. Keep shooting until you make one. And the first thing going to come out of their mouth is, but what if I never make one? But what if I never make one? Well, just keep trying till you do. Oh, well, I'm going to be here all day just shooting. You see what I'm saying? Just mentally broken, man. But they have to mask like they have all this belief in themselves, man. You can't, if you try to instill that back in them, man, you know, you attacking them, man. You attacking them. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to, you know what I'm saying, man, like all of us, man, if we recognize these type of characteristics, man, you know, it's just time to turn back to Allah. And Ramadan is right here for us, man. So it's time to get back in them right graces, man, and get that belt up off of us, man, because, you know, like you even have people, like I say, people trying to come up with money for masjids, man, to just make them overly extravagant because they trying to show off and they trying to compete. Man, the masjid is not about gold ceiling fans and chandeliers and 900 TVs and all that type of stuff, man. The masjid is about worshiping Allah. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you don't have no money. If I'm finna go sit up and get some money, if I'm gonna sit up and go get some money, I'm gonna invest it in me. I would rather take some money like me, because like I said, man, from what I come from, I was a person that was held back as a kid. So my mindset is I'm not finna let nobody hold me back. Okay, this masjid, y'all ain't teaching nobody no Islam. Y'all ain't even trying to, and y'all don't even know how to. I'm not finna sit around and keep complaining about that for 20 years. I'm finna go do something about it. I'm a solution-based person, and I don't solve problems with problems and then attach myself to a problem. Like, okay, let me attach myself to all these problems because I never know when I might need a burger and fries. My mind don't work that way. I'm not knocking it. My mind just don't work that way, man. My mind don't work that way, and that's why I'm not a used up person, man. Like I say, man, when you use what you got to get what you want, you also using yourself, man. And like I say, man, brothers, they just end up used up people, man. But feel like they the coldest user to touch the planet, man. I just don't have that, man. So I'm a solution-based person, man. The Deen is about the Deen, man. Not about trying to be better than a masjid. Not about no peacocking and you think this of me and you think that. Nah, man. It's about worshiping Allah first. Like I said, I would rather take some of that money. Why try to get all this money up to put gold paint on the walls and gold chandeliers and 100 and some TVs? We could get a regular building and some carpet and then buy houses. And then use the houses to fund the masjid. And then use the houses to put Muslims in it who can't figure life out because they keep playing the game backwards, and then put them in the houses and then say, look, you can have this. This yours. You just got to put the work in. Now this is for you. but they can't see through the fog because they so used to putting themselves in a position to be taken advantage of for a little bit of nothing. At the end of the road, I'm being taken advantage of, but it's not okay because I didn't choose it. That's how my mind works. You know what I'm saying? Like how they say when it comes to gang banging, you got to give these people a solution for them to change. What sit around? We could take that money and go get 4-5 houses, and then put a TV in every house for them, as opposed to putting 4-5 TVs in a masjid just to sit there and look extravagant. Like I say, I don't knock it. My mind don't work that way. Because who is it going to help? Get all these money up, man, and help the Muslims, man. That's how you help Muslims. Not sit around and, oh, brother, Allah said this, Allah said that. Okay, now go back out there in the streets and figure it out. And then next thing you know, they dead. Next thing you know, somebody done killed them. But our main focus is we need to take 30 of us and put our head together with no money, no plan, and try to make a masjid look beautiful while the Muslims starving come in there and pray. My mind don't work like that, man. And no matter how many times you tell people directly, indirectly, they mind too fixated on peacocking, man. You know what I'm saying? We need to start to check our hearts and check our intent. Take a Muslim man and put him in position, man. Put him on the free throw line. Put him in position, man. We could, like I said, man, we could just get people, because that's how my mind works. I'm not trying to be extravagant. I'm trying to please Allah. Right now, today, I guarantee you, man, it's a Muslim male somewhere, because he want a Muslim woman, and he's so fixated on, he gotta have this, and every last thing that a woman needs done, luxury and all this, and he gotta be overly extravagant. They can't go, although she eat McDonald's, they can't go to McDonald's. He gotta have money to take her to Ruth Chris. And now he's sitting around somewhere thinking about robbing somebody, thinking about selling some dope. And then he might be going to some masjid that's extravagant with the wrong game plan instead of uplifting the Muslims like the Rasul did. You got some Muslim female looking for marriage because she don't want to do nothing for herself, so she trying to figure out who's the biggest stupid person on earth that she could lay up under to get it. Because it's a masjid that she going to this beautiful masjid, but they not putting her in position to help her own self. So she stuck to a lifestyle of laying under goofies, man. You know what I'm saying? Sitting in a pile of feces, calling it a queen's throne. Convincing herself they sitting on the throne, man. Same with some of these brothers, and they Muslims, man. And then, and like some people who can't see through that fog, man. I'm never gonna participate in taking advantage of the Muslims, man, or my people, man. I'm just not gonna do it. Just like it's easy for me to come up with different little things and make money off the Muslims. I could do all type of different 40 hadith books, but that ain't for me. All money ain't good money. All material ain't good material, man. I learned that in the game as a teenager. All money ain't good money, man. You know what I'm saying? Every pat on the back ain't a pat on the back. You understand? Every hug is not a hug. Every handshake is not a handshake. Some people just getting close enough to you to see how stupid you are. Cloaked with a smile. You'll never get me to buy into that. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you could be my favorite scholar. You'll never get me to buy into that. You know what I'm saying? I'm about feeding the people, not eating off of them. No ifs, ands, buts, or babies, man. I'm not caught up in the delusion of enjoyment, man. But anyway, man, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And like this ayah saying, man, we trying to spend wealth, man, to show off, as opposed to feeding the people. It is yet that I seen that a Muslim come up with a plan and say, hey, Let's start a homeless shelter for the Muslims and get grants for that. Let's start a food shelter for the Muslims and try to get a grant for that, to where we can have them do jobs and pay them. Because like I said, if I was going to get a grant, which I already have all that intact, I was going to get something simple and use the grant to pay the person who come call the adhan and possibly clean up the masjid and get a van to go pick people up, where it become their job and they get paid for it. Not where I can pay myself. Not where I can waste money and put gold paint on the wall with real gold sparkles and diamond chandeliers and a bunch of weird stuff. I ain't gonna, it's weird to me. That's cool for other people, but I'm just not that type of Muslim. I'm not that type of person. I've always been a person, man. I've always been a helper as opposed to a user. You know what I'm saying? Even if they feel like they're using me, I put myself in that position. No matter how slick that they think they are, because they actually is a person that need help. No matter what they got to cloak, no matter what they got to do, because they prideful. I understand people have to hide their pride, so they got to make it look vainglorious. But in reality, they be needing help. I've been a person who needed help before. And nobody in my family, none of my family members, none of my friends was there. I'm in a whole nother city, man. And I'm getting helped by poor people that I'm not even family members with, that taught me something in life, man, as a Muslim. But my family was too much on their high horse wanting to see me fail, because I'm in a whole nother city and I'm not sticking around choosing to gang bang when I didn't have to gang bang anyway. I'm sitting up with the ops. I'm cool with the ops because I grew up with them. And I'm not no overly tough, starting stuff, going out, picking on people type person. We just gonna figure it out once we cross that bridge. I deal with people accordingly. I ain't no tough person, man. I don't think I am. But if we cross that bridge, we just gonna figure it out. Whatever it is, relationship, this and that, I got my mind don't say, oh, what did this happen? What did that happen? Hey, I cross that bridge. I'll figure it out when it happens. I'm not finna be letting Shaitan play with my head and get stuck on the what ifs. You know, what if it never happened? You see what I'm saying? What about that part? But some people can't condition themselves to think that way, man. And some of us Muslims, and a lot of it is because we stuck in the delusions of enjoyment. We too stuck competing and showing off. And it's not working for us, man. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.